Pro Football Focus says that this player is a must-sign and perfect free agent target for the Giants. We're going to break down that idea in a second, but I want to hear from all the real ones out there. You guys actually have the pulse of this football team down. You know what they need. So name a player you want to see Joe Schoen sign in free agency. Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Shout out to all y'all for coming back to check out another episode. We're going to be doing it all off season long, so subscribe and turn your notifications on. Pro Football Focus says the perfect free agent for the New York Football Giants is Justin Fields, quarterback, former first-round draft pick, not number one overall, former first-round draft pick, though, out of Ohio State. The quarterback this past year for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We all know the Giants are going to go out and sign a free agent quarterback. The free agency period becomes before the draft. The Giants need to add one, as Tommy DeVito is the only one under contract. The question is the 25-year-old Justin Fields the perfect free agency target for the Giants? Look, Justin Fields has not lived up to the potential in his NFL career. The passing numbers say that. The film says that. And I talked to my good friend, Harrison Graham, the Chicago Bears Now host here at Chat Sports. He watched every throw of Justin Fields as a Bear. And I talked to my guy, Jack Sperry, who watched every throw multiple times of Fields as a Pittsburgh Steeler. And they both made it clear to me that he is a long way to go as a passer. And you could see that through the completion percentage before this year, never topping 61.5%, never throwing for more than 200 yards per game, and really not having a great touchdown to interception ratio. He did, though, go 4-2 as a starter this year for Pittsburgh. But Jack Sperry let me know that was more because of Pittsburgh and their foundation and their overall climate and where they're at, their culture. He made it clear, and we're going to show you on today's show that Justin Fields did not play good as a passer this year. PFF, they say this. Both Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders could realistically be gone by the time they're on the clock, Giants. Even if one were to fall to New York's selection, it would be wise to add a cheaper bridge QB. Fields played better through the first 3 weeks of his time at Pittsburgh, producing an 81 PFF passing grade with 0 turnover-worthy plays while going 3-0. However, the former number 11 overall pick struggled during his last 3 outings, posting only a 52.2 PFF passing grade with 6 turnover-worthy plays. Despite his passing inconsistencies, Fields offers value as a runner, securing no lower than a 72.3 PFF rushing grade during each of his 4 seasons. At worst, he could be a cheap, temporary starting option who is probably better than what New York currently offers. Well, yeah, Justin Fields is better than Tommy DeVito. Fields has not lived up to the round one hype, and that's why he's available. That's why no team has married themselves to him as their long-term quarterback option. The question you have to ask yourself, and the Giants will ask themselves, is this. Is there something left to tap into with Justin Fields? Is there still a level of play that he has not been able to get to for whatever reason that is? Can Brian Daboll work the magic that he may or may not have on Justin Fields? That's the intrigue that will peak with the Giants thinking about signing him. Overall takes on Fields. Some pros. He's got legit size. 6'3", 230. He's built like an NFL quarterback. He's a dynamic rusher. I think he is the best running quarterback in the NFL. Running, not scrambling. Completely different. I don't think he's a great scrambler. He's got good arm talent. I wouldn't say great arm talent, but he's got good arm talent. And he's got playmaking instincts. We saw that at Ohio State. We saw that with Chicago. And we saw glimpses of that with Pittsburgh. Some cons. I think his mental processing is slow. I think he is slow post-snap to get through his reads. I also think he doesn't do a good job of getting the ball to his reads. He passes up a lot of open reads to take hero ball moments. I think his vision is suspect, especially over the middle of the field. I don't think he has good pocket presence, and that's why I say he's not a great scrambler. He's an athlete. He's a good runner. He turns into a threat when he crosses the line of scrimmage, but I wouldn't say he's got good feel in the pocket, and I don't think he does a good job of using his legs to buy time to make throws. His accuracy is average, and his timing is average. Overall, he's a high-end backup, in my opinion, that has upside, that could maybe bloom into a starter. And maybe with the right coaching and him developing on his own and growing as a player, maybe he becomes a starter. I don't see that right now. And the advanced analytics, they kind of side with me. His EPA per play, it ranked 25th out of the starting quarterbacks this year. 40 were eligible for this, like 150 snaps. His on-ball target, his catchable ball percentage, only 85% of his passes this year were deemed catchable. That's 24th in the NFL. What about when he tries to throw it deep? Downfield catchable percentage, 63.6. That ranks 38th out of 40. His average depth of target, just 7.7 yards down the field. Yards per attempt, 6.9 yards down the field. His big-time throw percentage ranks 24th. His turnover-worthy play percentage ranks way too high. And he has the longest average time to throw because he buys a lot of time, but he also takes a lot of sacks. So he doesn't rank anywhere in the top 20 of any of these categories that I know a lot of people that do great quarterback work use these stats. Some nerdy stuff for you. His positive play percentage, a play that is deemed to be greater than 0.0 EPA. That happened just 42.9% of the time, 32nd out of 40th. His boom play percentage, which is plus 1.0 EPA per play, happened just 18.1% of the time, 34th out of 40th. And his bust percentage, his negative play percentage, negative 1.0 on an EPA per play basis, 16.9%, 28th out of 40, bottom 14. He didn't really improve that much as a passer. And when you go back and watch the film, that's very evident. His best trait is still his ability to be a runner, his ability to tuck the ball and become a ball carrier. That's his calling card in the NFL right now. And he has to get back to leaning into that, like he did in 2022, where he had over 1,100 rushing yards, and he averaged 7.1 carries, and he had 8 touchdowns. If Justin Fields, as currently constructed, wants to be a franchise quarterback, he's got to lean into being a runner because he's not good enough from the pocket. In 2023, just 657 yards. This past year, 4.7 yards per carry. He's a good red zone runner, great around the red zone, has a nose for the end zone. But he's got to get back to being open-minded to, if I'm going to be successful in this league, I got to do it as a runner. What you want to ask yourself is, can Brian Daboll help Justin Fields' progress? Can Brian Daboll take the lid off the potential? Can he tap into that? I'm not going to give him all the credit in the world for Josh Allen because Josh Allen may be the best quarterback in the NFL, and he's a top 10 most talented quarterback I have ever seen. So it's unfair to give Brian Daboll all that credit. But he's worked with a big-armed QB who's athletic and needs to tighten up on all the things from the pocket. Can you do the same with Justin Fields? Best case scenario, if Fields comes to the Giants, he reached his potential. And he's your long-term starter. That's a home run. That's best case scenario. Worst case scenario, he did what he did in Pittsburgh, which really isn't improved much as a passer, and he gets benched midway through the year as a rookie. Maybe wins you a couple games. Not the worst thing, but just in this situation, the worst case scenario. How much is it going to cost to sign him? Pro Football Focus has projected that he signs a 1-year, $11 million contract fully guaranteed. Not too much. Probably right about where it needs to be. Sam Darnold signed a $10 million deal last year. Similar situation. First-round pick, bad situation, went to a place where he maybe rehabbed his career, learning from some Steelers and Mike Tomlin and a good head coach. Can he bounce back with another team? I don't know. Do you think the Giants should sign him? He's at the top of my bridge quarterback list, that's for sure. Question is, are there better options? I don't think so right now, but there may be better options for what the Giants are trying to do. I'll explain that in a second. As for sign, P for pass, coming up next, we did a full bridge quarterback list. Got to talk about it again, as maybe you guys did not see that. We'll do that in a second. First, though, I got to tell you about our proud sponsor, Game Time. If you're looking for the best seats for the lowest price guaranteed to an NFL playoff game, Game Time is your app. So download it, use that promo code CHATSPORTS, and you're going to get $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. All of that information will be clickable down in the comments and the description of today's video. The app is super user-friendly. Get to see your seat view in the app, get to access your tickets from your phone when you want to go to the stadium, and if you can't go to the game anymore, it's easy to resell your tickets as well. Lowest price guaranteed. They specialize in last-minute tickets and flash deals. And if you use that feature all-in pricing, you're not going to get hit with hidden fees at checkout. If you use the Game Time Picks feature, it makes it that much more easy because of your favorite team play. It's more than just sporting games, though, that you can get your tickets for. You go to concerts, you go to theater events, you go to comedy shows, and so much more. I've done them all, and I'll continue to use them all. It's the best app out there, and it's the one that I like using the most. You guys will love it, too. So use that promo code, ChatSports, and you'll get $20 off first purchase where terms do apply. Sam Darnold, should the Giants sign him? We're filming this video on Tuesday, the day after he played like a joke in the playoffs. I said before the playoff game I had no interest. And I don't have much interest now, but I do think he played his way back into spending distance for the Giants. I think the way he played against the Lions, I think the way he played against the Los Angeles Rams, he lowered his value. And maybe he puts himself into a more realistic price range for the Giants. If you get him for 2 years, $40 million, 20 years, $20 million a year, 2 years, $35 million, I'd be interested. I'm sure, though, he's going to try to secure the bag. Russell Wilson. If they decide to keep Justin Fields, Russell Wilson becomes number one on my list. Veteran, Super Bowl champion, leader, captain, can win you games, can operate an explosive offense, can get Malik Neighbors the football, which is very important to me, and you can develop a young QB. Russ at the top of my list if Justin Fields is brought back by Pittsburgh. A wild card. A swing for the fences with your eyes closed. The Kool-Aid has been drunk. I'm all in on Zach Wilson. I'm all in on Zach Wilson as the Giants buy low, low-risk, high-reward QB. Very similar to Sam Darnold. Played for a shitbag organization in the Jets. Played for a bad coach. Had bad weapons. Uber talented. First-round pick that did not work out. Then he went to QB school. He went to QB rehab. Learned from Sean Payton for a year. Did that help him? Like Darnold learning from Kyle Shanahan. Still just 25. Still one of the best arms in the league. Can Dable work his magic on him? Another quarterback on my list is Mac Jones. Shout out to the Mac. Was at Alabama when Brian Dable was there. He's won games in this league. Somehow he was a Pro Bowler. Someone I'd be willing to bet on a one-year cheap deal. I think he'd be a long-term backup in this league and maybe has some starter potential in a bridge spot. Not your franchise guy, but someone that I like. I also like Marcus Mariota as well in that Russell Wilson tier. Can win you games, is a veteran, and can help mentor the next young guy. He's already doing it for Jaden Daniels, and I thought he's played really good this year when he has. 2 touchdowns through the air, 1 on the ground, and over 73.1% completion percentage. Drew Lock. I'm going to pass on Drew Lock. I didn't see enough while he was here. I don't think the Giants liked him enough considering they decided to play Tommy DeVito over him. What a joke that was. No interest in Drew Lock coming back. Jameis Winston, if we want to say F it, let's throw 35 touchdowns and 35 picks, and we just want to get Malik Neighbors 250 targets next year, sure. He's on my list, but towards the bottom. Mason Rudolph is at the very bottom of my list for the QB bridges. Not all that interested. Jimmy Garoppolo, no. Out on Jimmy G. And the last one that makes any kind of sense is Andy Dalton. He is in the Russell Wilson, Marcus Mariota tier. Be a spot starter. Could be a veteran. Could be a mentor. Can win you a couple games. But more so there to develop that next young guy like he's done with Bryce Young. The QB options aren't great. And I do agree that Justin Fields is probably the best option. But I don't think it's the end-all, be-all when it comes to the New York Giants. If Fields goes back, Russell Wilson's awesome. If they keep both, cool. Go get Zach Wilson and Mac Jones for all I care. There's other options the Giants can go and get at QB. But Fields, he's at the top of the list for sure. Make sure you are following me on social media at @MarshallGreen_, @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up, and let's go, Big Blue.